You are listening to 88.3 FM WHCM, a broadcast station of the Harper College Board of Trustees. And welcome to the Sheesh. I'm your host, Tavik Papazian, and before we get into the news this week, we have a few game releases. Starting on November 13th, we have Hitman 2 coming to the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. The Spyro Reignited trilogy coming out on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And The Room 3 coming out on PC. On November 14th, we have Fallout 76, the huge multiplayer Fallout game set place in the Fallout universe, coming to PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. On November 15th, we have Battlefield 5 Deluxe Edition coming to PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Warhammer 40,000 coming to PC. Underworld Ascendant coming to PC, Bad Dreams Fever to PC, Sand in the Soul coming on Steam Early Access on PC, Hellgate London coming on the PC, and Settlers History Collection on the PC. And finally, coming out on November 16th, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee for the Nintendo Switch. Hopefully you have a friend so that you don't have to buy both to get all of this generation's Pokemon. Civilization 6 coming to the Nintendo Switch, and Destruct coming to the PlayStation 4. And with this week's game releases coming out of the way, let's get into this week's news. Bad news for Fortnite fans: the Fortnite cube has exploded this week. The cube that has been floating around in Fortnite has been referenced around on the internet and has been given the nickname Kevin, and it has exploded this week. People were playing and streaming all around the world. When the cube exploded, people were sent into this heavenly gate area where they followed a butterfly, and once they interacted with the butterfly, they were sent back into the world. No one knows exactly what it means yet, but everyone was throwing out on Twitter and on all that stuff, R.I.P. Kevin the Cube. So, sad, unfortunate news, but sounds like Epic Games is getting ready for something with that. More news for Blizzard and BlizzCon, and especially bad news for their new Diablo game, Diablo Immortal. Fans, Diablo Immortal was announced last week during BlizzCon at the very end of the conference, and it was revealed to be a brand new mobile game set in the Diablo universe. Needless to say, this kind of got a lot of people upset. Fans disliked the mobile game, and some during a live Q&A asked if it was even a prank. The mobile announcement was heavily booed in front of a mostly PC crowd, which, yeah, Blizzard is very much a PC-centered developer. So the fact that they would actually announce a mobile game at their biggest event of the year at the very end of a conference after rumors have been going around of a new Diablo game, kind of easy to see that people were not very happy with that announcement. But in order things that make it worse, it was made in collaboration with a Chinese mobile developer, NetEase, who created a free-to-play quote-unquote Diablo clone for mobile titles titled Crusaders of Light. So the fact that Blizzard ended up teaming up with someone who kind of cloned one of their games on top of that is just pouring salt on the wound, especially for the fans of Diablo who have been patiently waiting for a Diablo 4. But this isn't just gaming news that has been affected. The real world stock market, Activision stock, has plummeted this past week, and it still continues to drop. And to make matters even worse for that, Activision has come out and said that they aren't satisfied with the numbers for both Destiny 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on top of what has been going on with Blizzard. The projections for their next quarter are $3.05 billion. That is lower than what analysts wanted. Analysts wanted $3.06 billion. And looking at those numbers just here, 3.05 versus 3.06 doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but you have to remember this is billions of dollars that they're estimating. So that 0.01 goes a long, long way. Despite everything that's happening with Activision and with Blizzard, Blizzard still states that they are continuing to make plans to not only release Diablo Immortal, but they are even working both internally within Blizzard and porting out these projects externally to more mobile games of all their IPs, of all their intellectual property, meaning that they have their own teams within Blizzard, and they're even giving them out to other teams outside of Blizzard to develop these mobile games. And Blizzard claims that it is because many of their employees at Blizzard have been playing more and more mobile games, according to Alan Adaham, Blizzard's executive producer. Not something you really want to hear, especially from a PC developer, that they've been getting more and more addicted to mobile games, and that's what they want to focus on, especially now with everyone kind of going against microtransactions and loot boxes, and that's something that is very mobile game based, something that is very much found in all these mobile games. But again, all these developers are going to games as a service model, and mobile games is probably just how Blizzard sees the best way or easiest way to do that. But at the same time, you are still alienating many of your hardcore fans with that. Well, getting away from Blizzard for a little bit, let's go back to another topic that we've been talking about every single week, and that is Red Dead Redemption 2. Good news for Red Dead fans and just Red Dead in general. Rockstar has officially confirmed that over 17 million units of Red Dead Redemption 2 have been sold, making it one of the best selling games this year. And adding even more fire to the flame that Red Dead is just going on, because there's absolutely no stopping Rockstar or Red Dead. Rockstar is fixing the massive bug that has been plaguing the game since launch. Not everyone has been faced with the bug, but it is good to know that Rockstar is acknowledging it and it is being addressed. For those of you who don't know, a huge bug that caused the entire Marston family and Sadie Adler to go missing in Chapter 2 in the mission Polite Society for Valentine's Style. It causes that entire group to go missing, especially if you fail. It happens when you fail the mission and then restart from a checkpoint. And the entire Marston family and Sadie Adler go completely missing, and they don't appear again until Chapter 4. And that, as someone who's currently on Chapter 4 in the game right now, that is a long, long time. It's been over almost 20 game hours, I want to say. So, and they're main characters. They're not just side one-off characters. These are people that are part of the group, part of the main story. You're going to want to spend as much time with these characters as you can. And some people have had these characters completely disappear. Rockstar's temporary solution up till now has been if the mission is failed, to restart the entire mission and not to reload a checkpoint. But they have assured everyone that the game is being worked on. They're trying to fix the bug so that even if you restart from a checkpoint, that you are able to continue on with no real consequences. And some Red Dead Redemption Online news. Public launch beta is set to come out at the end of the month, at the end of November this month. So fortunately, we won't be having to be waiting too long to get our gun holsters and run around shooting each other online. Before continuing with our news this week, I just want to let everyone know that the Tutoring Center is now open and ready to help you with all of your academic needs. Located in Building F, Room 110, the Tutoring Center has tutors for all subjects and they are ready to answer all of your questions. Stop on by or call 847-925-6539. Once again, that number is 847-925-6539. All right, and not Japanese, Chinese game developer Tencent has been going through some changes lately. They've been doing something that is going to limit playtime for younger players. Players from ages 13 to 18 years old will have 2 hours a day to play their games, and children 12 and under only get an hour a day. This system is already in their mobile game Arena of Valor, and they are planning on expanding it into even more games that they have developed. And for those of you wondering why a developer would kind of limit how many times people can play their games, especially a mobile game where, again, very much microtransactions, very much a games as a service model. It is to comply with the Chinese government, who says that kids are playing too many video games and have even called out some of Tencent's games in particular. So this is kind of Tencent just kind of like pushing back the pedals and saying, whoa, hold on, we care about the kids as well. So they're doing something to kind of limit and kind of make it seem like they're complying with the Chinese government. But hopefully this practice does not make it into the United States, because as someone who loves video games and has loved them since I was a child, I would have gone past that 1 hour a day before 8 a.m., before going to school. So hopefully this isn't something that catches on here in the West. But unless our government does something about it, I don't really see any developers trying to limit their audience. Ubisoft is in some hot water this week after asking a 6-year-old boy for money when playing one of their games. The boy was playing Just Dance 2019 in kids mode, and every time he would log in, the game would ask him to subscribe to their service. The child's parents went to turn to Reddit and to voice their complaints, and Ubisoft has since apologized and have vowed to fix the issue in an update. No word yet on how many other children have actually been coaxed into subscribing to the service and paying for it, but I would imagine that this game came out over a month ago, I believe. It's not a fairly old game, but still, something like this should not happen, especially in a kids mode of the game. Yeah, it's kind of just a scumbag move on Ubisoft's part for that. But yeah, nothing yet on if they will refund anybody who says that their children paid for something that they didn't approve of. So Ubisoft has been getting a bit of flack for that. Bad news for Final Fantasy 15 fans. Game director Hajime Tabata has left the company. For those of you who don't know, Hajime came in, and when the game was stuck in development hell, it was unable to continue, and he's the one who kind of took the project, ran it through, and finally got it to a release. With his departure on October 31st this year, almost all the continued planned DLC has been canceled, except for the Arden episode, which was already nearly completed and set to release. They are still updating that game. It is a few years old, and they are still cranking out cranking out DLC and updates for that. And you know what? Bravo for them. They have a dedicated fan base. They have fans that are willing and want to pay for all that. Good for them. Tabata has left to start his own game studio, and he wishes everyone on the Final Fantasy team the best and hopes to see the future grow from a distance in the future. Plenty and plenty of Xbox news this week. On Saturday, Xbox held their XO 2018 conference, and they gave us quite a bit of announcements. PUBG for a limited time is for free on the Xbox Game Store, allowing people to try out the game for absolutely free. No word yet on how long it's going to go on. They just said for a limited time, and no official date has been given. But still, try out PUBG. If you like Fortnite, maybe you'll enjoy PUBG, the more competitive and realistic nature. Especially now that it's free. I mean, no harm done. Crackdown 3, they've shown us a bit more of Crackdown 3. They showed off a bit of the multiplayer and some of the multiplayer maps and multiplayer modes. And Crackdown 1 is now available for free on Xbox until November 30th. A free copy of the first Crackdown in case you've never played a Crackdown game before. I know I haven't. I'm definitely going to pick that up for myself to see what all the hype is about. And for good news for disabled gamers or those who have physical impairments, the adaptive controller, the controller specifically made by Xbox to help the physically impaired to experience video games in a way that they've never been able to before, is expanding to 17 new markets. So those new markets will have that controller available, giving more people the experiences that they want and they can finally achieve. Good on you, Microsoft, for trying to expand and include as many people in this amazing pastime that we all love. So, good on you. And Kingdom Hearts 3. They've continued to... Kingdom Hearts is coming out swinging ever since E3, where they've shown out everything. And at XO 2018, they had a playable demo on the showroom floor. And from all early accounts, it is looking good. It is looking really good. We weren't able to get any specific solid details, but from all the trailers and all early screenings and all that, all the early play tests, it's getting people excited. And continuing on Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, good news for old school Final Fantasy fans. Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2, Lightning returns backwards compatibility next week. So more backwards compatibility being added to Xbox, and Final Fantasy 7, 10, 9, 10, 10-2, and 12 are all coming to the Xbox One next year. So Xbox is definitely doubling down on Final Fantasy and Square Enix games. Because, I mean, 15 is still getting updates and DLC, or they're about to get their last DLC from the looks of it. But still, I mean, Final Fantasy games are something that people want to play. And one more thing before we go into a final PSA, Xbox Game Pass announcements. They have announced plenty of new games coming to Xbox Game Pass. They have PUBG, Void Bastards, Hellblades, both Ori games, the Ori the Blind Forest and Ori Will of the Wisps coming to Game Pass. Thief of Thieves Season 1, based on from the creator of Walking Dead comics, Robert Cookerman. Kingdom 2 Crowns, Aftercharge, Supermarket Shrines, Mutant Year Zero, Pathologic 2, Secret Neighbor, The Good Life, Thomas Was Alone, MXGP3, and Agent Mayhem, are all coming to Xbox Game Pass, either at launch or they're on Game Pass now. Those that haven't been launched yet, like Ori Will of the Wisps, will be there on launch day. And before we continue on with XO 2018, I just want to let you know, I just want to ask, are you a Harper student looking for a job? Well, look no further. Every week from 8:30 till 4 p.m., the Job Placement Resource Center in room W207. Job placement professionals will help you with resumes and job searches. Stop in for all your employment needs. Continuing with XO 2018, Sea of Thieves. They announced a new update called the Arena. It is a competitive player versus player mode. It's basically the multiplayer and the PvP of Sea of Thieves already. It's just more concentrated, more close quarters, and more focused away. More like a deathmatch style, but not necessarily. It's just more closed in and more focused on that PvP fighting. The new game Jump Force showed some new gameplay was shown of Goku versus Frieza and fighting in, I believe it was Paris. And God, the animations and the fightings in these games look so good. The animations and just, I mean, as someone who, I don't know too much about anime, I don't really watch it, but I know of Dragon Ball Z, and it just looks insane and ridiculous and just so much fun. State of Decay 2 is also getting a new update, the Zed Hunter update. It is a free update to the game. It will include new items, weapons, just quite a few things to make the whole thing a lot more fun. Just Cause 4 was also showing off some gameplay and some trailers. And a really, really nice thing that Xbox is doing, #GiveWithXbox. From now till December 9th, you can post a picture on social media about what gaming together means to you. And for every photo tagged, Xbox will donate $5 worth of Xbox products and services up to $1 million. Simply just take a picture about what gaming together means to you. Tag it with #GiveWithXbox. That's #GiveWithXbox. Tag it with that, and Xbox will donate $5 worth of Xbox products and services, and these will be given through the charities Child's Play, Gamers Outreach, Operation Supply Drop, and Special Effect. All very established charities, all very reputable, and all it'll cost you is a hashtag. So do it for the kids. They've also shown off a bit more of Devil May Cry 5. They showed off the new weapons and new animations. And for Capcom fans, Dante has a Mega Man blaster. That's right. He has a Mega Man blaster, and he also has Mega Man's animations for when it's equipped. And as a Mega Man fan, as someone who's... I'm not sure if I played all the games because there are so many, but I've played quite a few of them. That just brought a smile to my face. I couldn't stop smiling every time I saw the blaster on his arm. I'm just... It was such a joy to see them kind of looking at their competitors and being like, I know what you got. I know what your fans like, and we'll put it in there just as a little knock on your shoulder, like, we like it too. Minecraft, we got more Minecraft news alongside the new texture update. We also have the Cats and Pandas update. I did not think that I wanted to play Minecraft more. until I saw this amazing trailer where it is possibly the cutest thing I could have seen that's super blocky and super pixely. But it is adorable. It's literally about cats and pandas having a napping war with each other where negotiations keep falling apart until someone introduced them to Minecraft. That sounds ridiculous, it's because it is, but I highly urge that you go home and you watch it because it's just going to bring a smile to your face. All right, and 14 new Xbox titles will be supporting mouse and keyboard controls starting Wednesday. They didn't necessarily say the 14 new games, but Razer is also creating a brand new keyboard and mouse for Xbox, Windows 10 that supports dynamic keyboard lighting, which will allow a row on your keyboard to light up for your health. It'll allow something to blink when your teammate is down and needs to be revived, or just depends on the game and depends on what they program or what you program for it. It could be completely up to you. But these are Razer's brand new wireless gaming keyboard and mouse, completely built from the ground up for Xbox and Windows 10. A new Forza expansion. There's going to be a new island and settings released into the game. Not sure if it's free, but I would imagine something like this would be a DLC that you would have to pay for. But luckily for all of us, paying doesn't necessarily have to come out of the nose because Xbox has blessed us all with some Black Friday deals. And these are some good deals. They said $100 off any Xbox One console. The original Xbox One, the Xbox One S, or the Xbox One X. All of them, $100 off. I almost said 100%, but that would be ridiculous. No. Just $100 off. Sorry. $10 off any Xbox wireless controller, including the Xbox Design Lab custom controllers. You can go onto their website and customize your own controller, give it a little bit of text, decide what the D-pad and the triggers are, whether they're plastic or metallic. And not gonna lie, I might just get one and put my gamer tag on it. It looks pretty good. So, your boy right here might get a new Xbox One wireless controller. And they also announced some deals on games. Forza Motorsport 7 and Sea of Thieves, both 50% off. State of Decay 2 and Super Lucky's Tale, along with PUBG, 35% off. And Xbox Game Pass for the first month is only $1, or a 12-month subscription for half off. And that actually doesn't sound bad at all. Instead of paying $120 for an entire year of Xbox Game Pass, get it for $60. Pay the price of one new game and you get over 100 games. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I think that math checks out. I'm not good at math. Don't tell my math professor, because they will be mad. And Xbox has invested in 2 new studios, making their total studio count, the total studio purchases for this year, bring it up to 13. In Exile Entertainment, the producers of the Wasteland series and the Bard's Tale series, has been bought by Microsoft. And the rumors have been confirmed. Obsidian Entertainment has also been bought by Microsoft and is now a Microsoft studio. Obsidian is the developers behind Fallout New Vegas and South Park The Stick of Truth. So, very much a RPG, 2 RPG giants, 2 big RPG names going into the Xbox family. And hopefully these developers are able to provide plenty of exclusives for Xbox, something that they've seriously been lacking this generation. But this could be them investing in the next generation of hardware and software in order to get people from the PlayStation side back onto Team Xbox. And I think they're going to come out of the gate swinging with their next generation. All right, that's all for XO 2018. But before we continue, I just want to remind everyone that you are listening to 88.3 WHCM FM, Palatine, Illinois, a broadcast station of the Harper College Board of Trustees. Moving on from Xbox to PlayStation, we have a few bits of PlayStation news. Path of Exile, a direct competitor to Diablo, is coming to the PS4 shortly after the 3.5 expansion on December 7th. Now, this could very well have been a response from the developers of Path of Exile to the controversy that's going on with Diablo, as kind of just a little jab at Blizzard saying, hey, you're losing your fans. Why not bring them over to our side? You can come to PS4 now. All right, and now Sony has somewhat quietly released, pun not intended, or maybe fully intended, a brand new PS4 Pro system. Unfortunately, it is only available now in the Red Dead Redemption 2 bundle, and it is released with the only change being that the new system is 2 decibels quieter than the current PS4 Pro. However, it should be noted that the new PS4 Pro is still not as quiet as the Xbox One X, but any improvement to sound is always good news. And finally, the PlayStation Classics early impressions are in. Many critics note how many games such as Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raiders, and others are missing, and that the UI feels very, very basic. It feels very rushed. However, they do say that plenty of the games still run as well as they did, and it still feels good to play these old classic titles. However, after some people started digging into what the actual system has, they found that an open source emulator was used to emulate every single game. That's PlayStation basically admitting that a free PC emulator software is good enough to be officially used by Sony to emulate their games. Which kind of raises the question, well then, why would I buy the new system when it's going to use the software that I can download for free on my computer? But I guess you could also go back and say, well, I kind of want that little mini console. I'll admit, it looks cute. It looks adorable. And finally, moving on to some Nintendo news. YouTube is now on the Nintendo Switch. That's right, people have finally been asking for it. People have been wanting it, and now that we have it, I kind of have to admit, why did we want it? I mean, I understand people who are on the Nintendo Switch quite often. I usually play it in docked mode, so I have it right here on my computer desk where I have my PC and everything set up. I usually just go on YouTube on that, but for people that are on the go and have their Nintendo Switch with them all the time, it might be good to have YouTube on that app, on that platform, instead of having to pull out your phone to watch a video or something. But yeah, that came out with a new software update. They came out alongside each other on November 8th. So YouTube's now on the Switch. But when one door opens, another one closes. And unfortunately, Netflix has announced that the Nintendo Wii is no longer being supported via Netflix. As of January 30th, 2019, Netflix will suspend all services on the Nintendo Wii. However, they did post a board saying all the systems that they are currently supporting: the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and even the Nintendo DS, which I had no idea that you could watch Netflix on your DS. Does anyone out there watch Netflix on their DS? Please come by the studio. I would love to hear that. Or let's watch Stranger Things on your DS. That's yeah. You know what? I'd rewatch that show just to see it on a 3DS. All right, and some news on a possible new Legend of Zelda title. Nintendo Japan has posted job openings related to the series, including a 3D CG designer working on terrain for fields and dungeons, and a level designer for game events, dungeons, and enemies. Now, this could be... Don't get your hopes too high up yet, because this could be more DLC for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because... Nintendo president Yuji Nakamura stated that they want to focus more on DLC for big games, and especially with Zelda, especially at the beginning of the Nintendo Switch's life cycle, outselling the Nintendo Switch itself for the Nintendo Switch console. Like, they literally reported that more Nintendo Switch copies of Zelda Breath of the Wild were sold than Nintendo Switches, because a lot of people ended up just buying the game and waiting to be able to get their own console. I think they consider Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild a big game. So, very easy to... It could be new dungeons and everything in a new DLC for Breath of the Wild that we won't see for a long while. But seeing how the game is over a year old now and all that, it could be a brand new Legend of Zelda game, but as well, don't get your hopes too high with that one. Travis Strikes Again No More Heroes has a release date of January 8th, 2019, and from the looks of it, it looks to be more of a reboot of the series and not necessarily a sequel to the Wii games. Travis Strikes Again fans will be happy to just step back into the shoes. From what I've seen of the game on the Wii, it looks just ridiculous Japanese anime fun, just completely out of this world. And some final Smash Bros. Ultimate news. The DLC lineup is complete with 5 DLC characters and plenty at launch, but they have stated that the creating even more characters via DLC is going to be a very huge challenge, because Nintendo presents, I believe it's Shigeru Miyamoto, with the list, and from there he decides which characters end up coming into the series and which ones he wants to actually be part of and which ones would fit. However, he was only out of all the names on the list that he gave him, he was only able to pick 5. So he's saying that the 5 DLC characters that we're going to get are all that we're going to get. And to round out all the news this week, a brand new Super Mario Bros. Movie is set for release in 2022. It is being worked on by Illumination Entertainment, the same guys who created Despicable Me, Sing, and the brand new Grinch movie. So at least we know it's in good animated hands, and that it's not going to try to be a live action movie like the previous one. Because, I mean, the guy grows 3 times the size when he eats a mushroom. Can you really put that into a live action form? And if you're going to make a Super Mario Bros. Movie, that's the way to go. But even the creators have stated that it's going to be difficult taking something with such a simple premise as Mario Bros. And putting it into a 3-act structure of a movie. But it's something that they're looking forward to. tackling head on. They are working closely with Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto to ensure that the project is of quality. And another piece of Nintendo media in different formats, the Castlevania series creator is working on a Legend of Zelda anime series. For those of you who don't know, Castlevania is a old school platformer, very notoriously difficult, just where you play as a member of the Belmont clan fighting against Dracula and his castle. You go up against plenty of other horror movie icons and horror movie monsters. And the anime series, which premiered, I believe, 2016, with season 2 having come out recently, which I do need to watch season 2. I was upset that season 1 was only 4 20-minute episodes, but he could possibly be working on a brand new Legend of Zelda anime series, possibly for Netflix, but I don't know how that's going to work, especially since Link doesn't talk. But I just want to let everyone know that with Goodwill, you can donate your stuff and you can help create jobs. Here's how Goodwill does it. When you donate to Goodwill, they sell your stuff to help fund job training programs for people right in your community. So by teaming up and donating to your local Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't it worth parting with your leftover guitar from your 1980s cover band? Goodwill, donate stuff, create jobs. Alright, that's all the news that we have for gaming this week, the week of November 12th, 2019, or 2018. I cannot talk today for some reason, and I'm doing this show alone. Yay. But yeah, that's all the news that we have for this past week. I've been your host, Tyve Papazian, and remember, you have been listening to 88.3 FM WHCM Palatine, Illinois, a broadcast station of the Harper College Board of Trustees. This has been the Sheesh.